The infidelity double standard. Why does it exist? Select mostly for fertility. Women select maybe mostly for resources. The risk of paternity uncertainty is significantly higher for males, as females can be quite sure that the child they bear is theirs. Men cannot. So, if they mistakenly invest into a child which is not theirs, they not only divert resources not into their offspring, but into a competitor's offspring. This means men, to a certain extent, also select for fidelity, potentially using past dating history and the level of promiscuity to try to predict future infidelity. If a female bears 3 children and then bears another child, which then is only a half sibling to the other children, this risk could have potentially been decreased by selecting somebody else. A second factor, therefore, might be intrasexual competition amongst females. Let's say 2 females compete for the same male, which needs to be often the case, at least historically, given that roughly 80% of females had offspring, but only 40 to 50% of males, meaning 80% of females share, at least on historic average, a pool of half of the men. If now both compete for the same male, one might sprinkle a few rumors about infidelity of the other one. Now, while in the battle of the sexes, which seems to also have played out in recent years in this regard, it might make sense to downplay female infidelity. And also now there are paternity tests, but of course a test can also be faked. So in the most recent years, one probably could observe a swing in the battle of the sexes towards the female side, which in a 1 versus 1, which, at least assuming a zero-sum game, obviously comes to the disadvantage of the male part of the population. One could also assume that institutions like marriage, while possibly including and integrating a variety of different factors, might also be a long-term bargain in terms of fidelity. Look, I'm married to this person. Look, hello, all my friends and family, look, I'm married to this person. Which, despite how strong of a social signal this might be, apart from prolactin increase in males after childbirth, which seems to modulate their sexual drive downwards, still doesn't turn it off. There is still marginal utility in having more offspring with more women. Thus, one could maybe summarize that society has a double standard because the sexual strategies, roughly analogous to the R&K strategy in biology, not only slightly differ, but differ quite a bit. And thus, the man who can have offspring, roughly from 50th percentile onwards, select for women with a lower risk of infidelity, plus intrasexual competition.